by watching video, trying to emulate what the guys did on TV. But now, I think back, wow, if I'd had track days and great schools like we have now, I could have won maybe 3 or 4 world championships.
Yep. If you're just walking up, we're talking about the Yamaha Champions Riding School. We're at Miller Motorsports Park in Salt Lake City in the summertime. We're in Vegas in the wintertime. This group has run 12 years with Freddie Spencer. When he quit, we've been for 3 years with Yamaha. Scott said it, and I'll touch on what he told us one time. He would run the videotapes back and forth so often they'd break, right? He'd return them, this broke. He'd get another one, put it in, watch the best in the world back and forth till the tape broke. And this is exactly what we're chasing with Yamaha Champions School. You notice it's not the Nick Ienatsch School or the Ken Hill School or what Scott Russell thinks about riding a motorcycle school. It's the Champion School. What can you do to ride like a champion? Fast, if that's what you want, but consistently more important. How many points Sean, how many points did you win laying in the dirt by the side of the racetrack? Yeah, you see him 0. Factory Ducati rider, 0 points if he's laying in the dirt. How enthusiastic is your family when you're laying against the guardrail and your motorcycle's down the road? Not very enthusiastic. How much money is that? In a single word, yell out the description of crashing a street bike. Those of you who've done it, yell it out in a single word. Sucks? Ouch?
Expensive.
Expensive?
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Hospital.
Hospital? So if you haven't crashed a street bike, one of the things we chase in the Champion School is you got to finish the ride. You got to get to breakfast. You got to get home after your commute to work. You got to get to the plaza in Italy. You got to get on the podium when you're racing. And Scott, why don't you start us off with how you think about this tire? I'll hold it. You talk about it.
We think the tire's got 100 points of grip. So, as a perfect day, we got 100 points of grip, and as the weather, if it's raining, the grip's going to be down here. If it's snowing and cold, your grip's going to be way down here. So, you know, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can't be grabbing and stabbing on the brakes. You got to be smooth. If you go in a corner with a lot of lean angle, like Nick's doing here, and you grab the brake, you're going to be on your head, just like that. So, what we'd like to teach, and one of the champions habits, I'll go ahead and touch on that, is loading the tire before you work it, correct?
Right.
So, by getting on that front brake lever and then building pressure, the front tire will flatten out and create more of a contact patch and offer you the maximum grip that it can give you. If you don't build that pressure slowly, you're going to be in trouble.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to know what that 100 points is like all the time? Wouldn't it be great to understand, boy, that 100 points? Well, we've got to be able to figure out what that 100 points is. Guys, nice 80-degree day, that 100 points is up here. As Scott said, 30 degrees out, that 100 points is down there. You can see what Nick is doing. He's got that tire leaned over, and on this super slick stage, how he puts that load into it determines how that 100 points is going to be distributed. So, if he's got that tire leaned over at 65 points, and then he tries to put in 50 points, that tire's not going to hold. So, what he's talking about is loading the tire before he works it, letting that tire expand out and give it a chance to have some grip.
World champion talking about that. AFM #2 plate holder, track record holder, and a bunch of different classes talking about we got to get rid of the stab and grab. I'm gonna add 60 points of brakes right now. 60 points of brakes, and I'm okay because I'm a new rider and I'm only using this much lean angle. You new riders, you're okay. You're surviving it. You're surviving this. But we teach things that matter when the pace goes up or the grip comes down. When the pace comes up or the grip comes down, that's when everything we teach counts. So now you're running the thing off into a corner and the corner tightens up and you have the habit of stabbing and grabbing, you're going to tuck the front. You're going to crash your brains out at lean angle because you're grabbing 60 points. So for the rest of your career, leaving here tonight, you add points in a linear fashion. So at this lean angle, and I've got to slow my bike down, squeeze that brake on, and we load it up in a linear fashion instead of stabbing it and grabbing it. And once you get that figured out on the front, you start to get rid of these big time low sides where you run the thing off in the corner and stab that front brake lever.
So what ends up happening, what do we all do when you find the front tire's got no grip and you might be on the track or even on the road, you find out, boy, my bike's got no grip, right? You're gonna look for something else. It's gotta be the bike. It's gotta be, you need different brake lines. Or yeah, you need a shock in the back or whatever it is. What's the biggest variable on the bike? Us. That's exactly right, and we don't work on that enough.
Now, people want to go out and they want to spend $1,000 on a pipe or suspension and all that stuff, and the real thing you need to work on is the rider first, you know, and then you can add all that stuff. Once you learn how to apply the brakes and do this sport properly, then you can go out and onto your bike and make it trick like you want. But first off, think about working on yourself.
How many points does the tire have?
100.
Yeah, tire's got 100 points of grip. So that 100 points, right, front brake, that 100 points is divisible by lean angle and front brake pressure. Very simple on the front. Rear tire now is divisible by lean angle and throttle. So again, how we distribute those points with throttle and brake.
I'm pretty good. So, 100 points of grip. So you're thinking, okay, I'm going to be smooth on my throttle, smooth on my brakes, right? You're thinking that. You got to understand this. So, smooth on throttle, smooth on brake, but you're going to flick the thing in the corner. Folks, adding points to this tire is adding points, whether it's brake points, throttle points, or lean angle points. So, y'all think I'm going to flick the thing off in the corner, hammer it, throw it, all those verbs don't work at the limit. They don't work when you're trying to set a track record. They don't work when you're trying to get home in the rain, because you're adding points too quickly. So think about how you steer your bike, steer it in a linear fashion.
If Nick's got that tire, if he's got that tire at 98 points, how many does he have left for braking? 2. But Nick, aggressive, can only pick it. Well, Nick, you keep low siding. Keep low siding.
I think it's the fork springs. I think I need 1.0s.
Yeah. How about you load the tire before you work it? Load the tire before you work it.
It's me?
It is you.
I'll do it.
That's right.
Load that. Load it. Load it. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So let's move on. You're sitting there thinking to yourself. You may be not listening. That tire will do a combination of things, braking and braking and turn. So what we'll do is we'll put World Champ on. Right. We'll put the World Champ on, and let's see. Can I borrow your water bottle? Got a frog in my throat. Here's what we'll do. The World Champ just snug up against this bottle and just snug up against it. Put your front wheel right against it. The World Champ's going to do that because this is the slowest part of the corner where this bottle is, and I'll put it right here. In other words, your bike's got to go a certain speed, which is snuggling up against it, or you run wide in the corner. Okay? Everybody good at that idea? And the World Champ, he read a book. And he went to a school and he listened to the people that don't have good advice because they just haven't seen as much as we have. They just haven't been to the level we've been to. I'm a 2-time AMA #1 plate holder, 3-time GNF #1 plate, 2-time Willow #1 plate holder. This is what we do well. This is it, really.
It's pretty much all we do well.
So just pay attention to this, all right? And here's what he read. Scott Russell read, you got to let go of your brakes before you add lean angle. So he's going to say, I'm going to set my speed here at the turn-in for the slowest part of the corner, which is never at the turn-in. We don't know one corner where the slowest part's at the turn-in, but he's the World Champ. So Scott, honestly, try your very best. Let go of him here before he adds lean angle. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. Oh, wow, he ran wide. Shoot, he ran wide. But you know what, there's not a car coming, so he might even laugh about it at breakfast. Everybody? If I was riding with him, I'd go the other way. I'd turn around and go the other way. Because he's decided way back here what his speed should be, and he didn't do it. Scott, how about this? How about you as world champion, you use the brakes as you want to for the slowest part of the corner?
So he's guaranteeing what his speed is going to be, and not only that, being on the brake lever, is the contact patch of the tire bigger or smaller when he's on the brake lever? Bigger, yeah, I want more grip. I absolutely want more grip. So, and that all goes back to what we were showing you before. You gotta load the tire before you work it and have those smooth inputs.
Everybody listening? So you're thinking, you're coming in, you got the tire loaded on the brakes, and you've let go of the brakes before you turn in. You come off the brakes, your contact patch gets smaller. We just all said that. Look what your fork springs are doing. Your fork springs are collapsed under the brakes. You snap off the brakes, your forks extend. Your bike's in the worst geometry to steer. Do you understand that? The worst geometry to steer. So when Scott gets down to his turning point and he snaps off his brake lever, contact patch.
Nick, just lean it in more. Just lean it in more.
Is lean angle infinite?
Sean Higby, is lean angle infinite? Yeah, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, lean angle's not infinite.
Lean angle is not infinite. So what he's done is he's saying, you know what? I'm going to leave my front tire loaded. I'm going to leave my steering loaded. I'm going to turn with my brakes on. It's called trail braking. You brake straight up and down as hard as you need to. As you get to your turning point, you start to come off and trail off your brakes as you add lean angle. If you're new to it, or if you're going to coach someone who's new to it and they're asking your advice, this would be third on our list.
Yeah, Nick, but you know what, Nick?
Third.
We have a track riding school, and we
yeah.
ride on the track, and we're riding these R6s. So, but I just ride on the street Sunday mornings with my buddies, and I don't need this.
Yeah. Street riders, if you run wide on a racetrack, you got all sorts of room. You rarely hit anything. You turn your bike into your favorite corner. There's gravel in 4 feet of it. You got 8 feet to hit. Oh wait, there's a Camaro in 4 feet of it. You got a 4-foot spot to hit, everybody. You think racing's important to put your bike where you want it, and you can't hit a 4-foot spot? You either hit the gravel and fall down, or you run into the car and die. You die. Who dies more? Street riders, road racers. Street riders. Everything we talk about is about street riding. Getting that bike to the slowest part of that corner is everything we talk about. Let's say that's a car that pulled out. Let's say that's a car that spun across the lane. That's a tree root. Whatever it is, Scott had to bring his bike. And the closer you get to the problem with your brakes on, the more chance you have of hitting it. In this case, it's the slowest part of the corner. The more repeatedly you get the bike to the slowest part of the corner, and from the slowest part of the corner, the better you do as a road racer. You start to win championships. For street riders, you get to breakfast, you're sitting there eating your omelets, and you hear somebody hit the gravel. And you had your brakes on, you tipple through the gravel with your brake, right through there, you're eating your omelet. Now here comes the helicopter, the governor's wife drives by, she tells her husband, those kids are crazy on those things, you should do something about it. You should do something about it. So Senator Danforth, 1986, he said, 100 horsepower limit for all bikes in America. Was anybody riding back then, 1986? Danforth? 100 horsepower limit. That's all you guys get. We all got jacked up in the media. We started writing articles about it. We proved to them it was the most purchased bike, was the most crashed bike, and that went away. But we will continue to hurt our sport unless we can control our speed. Are we crashing on Sunday mornings because we're going too fast or too slow? Too fast. So we got this figured out. Have we even mentioned the throttle yet? We haven't even mentioned the throttle yet. Are you kidding me? The throttle? Don't go to the throttle yet until you get the thing turned in and pointed. Turned in and pointed.
Guys, bikes are getting better and better every year. You see all these great bikes at this show. Bikes are getting faster, they handle better, the brakes are better, but we're making the same mistakes year and year and year after each other.
And that's the scary thing, is that anybody can go out and buy an R1 that'll run 190 miles an hour, but they don't know how to stop the thing. All of us can go fast in the straightaway, and that's why you keep hearing him talk about cornering so much, because that's what's really critical when you start adding lean angle. So we'll teach you at the school, give you the right tools to take home and be a better street rider, be a better racer, and be able to hit that 4-foot spot. If you've ever watched road racing, most of the passes are done in the space of a doorway. It can be done, and we can do it at breakneck speeds, and we can teach you how to do it at speed as well.